And welcome, everybody. Hello, everybody. It is going to be the standard intro. It's going to happen. Here it comes.
Here it comes.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the AWE podcast. It is Hollywood Matt Connelly with the double biceps. It is in the contract a legal requirement every single time we appear on camera. Let's put that up so you can really get a good shot of that. Yes. 22 years in the gym, and it is all paying off in that moment. So, so this is the AWE podcast, and the esteemed gentleman sitting to my left, but you're right. It is, in fact, the master of disaster, the co-breather of air, the co-founder, the co-pilot, the co-wearer of clothes in this very room. It is the master of disaster, the king of sting, the count of Monte Cristo. It is Thunderlips, the ultimate male. There it is. Coming and I still was like, don't laugh when he does that. You did it. Yes, welcome to the show. It is, in fact, Dave, the winner of the Dave Stockbridge of the Year Award. There it is there. He's put his nomination in already. Here's some stiff competition from Vince Colosimo and Vincent Ronaldo this year. They are both gunning for that title, the coveted title. It is, in fact, Dave Stockbridge.
Thank you very much for that very, very warm welcome, and it's nice to see the fullness of the biceps. If we can just look at that. Look at that. It really was worth every one of those 21 years in the gym. There's a bit of a split here in the peak.
Is it important to talk about the biceps because it is a key feature of
your identity.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. That's why it's in the.
You're
contract.
Essentially a double bicep pose with a person.
That's right.
So, yes. Well, it's been an exciting week over the last 7 days in the world of AWE, and AWE continues to build up steam ahead of the July 2nd matchup at the Adelaide Oval. So July 1st, if you're in the US, and if you're booking in the pay-per-view time, but July 2nd, if you happen to be buying tickets to be right next to the action, cage side at the Adelaide Oval. Hollywood Matt Connelly, some fantastic matchups. We've touched on some already. What's got you salivating this week, though?
Oh, I think we can't go past the one I'm looking forward to the most, and we were talking about this just a few minutes ago, is the heavyweight championship, and that's Gunter's Bykos versus Marcus Atirai. And my God, that's going to be amazing. That
big matchup.
I don't know who's going to win. That's what's exciting about it. I can't really pick a winner. And it's like, I sort of go, oh, but Gunter's has got the experience, but Marcus is enormous. And
Marcus is enormous and getting more enormous. We just had a report. So Marcus weighed in as our second largest athlete at AWE 1 after Mataringi Heta Morris turned up weighing an incredible 165 kilos, pipping the big Tahitian by just 2 kilos. And reports just in tonight that we are going to see an an even bigger version of the Tahitian wrecking ball at AWE 2. 170 kilograms. He now tips the scales out. I mean, that if he turns up at AWE 1 and Mataringi Heta Morris does not produce any increase in weight, then we've got ourselves the largest human being to be wrestling inside the octagon in the history of this promotion, and one of the biggest athletes to ever step beside the table.
Oh, absolutely. Especially to have a potential, maybe in the future we might be able to set these two guys up and then have a match with two 170 kilo guys. I don't think there's ever been a match with bigger men in the world. We've got Corey West in America he's close to 200,
he's big,
but his opponents haven't weighed 170 kilos.
No.
So, yes, incredible. I'll just say hello to the couple of people that have jumped in here. We've got Fox 8-Ball, who's a fantastic follower of arm wrestling around the world, and you'll see him in nearly every single arm wrestling live. Hello to you. And we have guys.
The giant killer.
That's right.
The giant killer, Taran, the Tyrannosaurus. Have we hidden him?
No, he's right there.
Taran, Dankius Arm Wrestling, who was, of course, Taran Broad. Taran Broad having taken on Adam Laura, who is one of the top super heavyweights here in Australia. And Taran taking away the victory there in Sydney just a matter of days ago. And Taran, of course, is not a super heavyweight. He weighs 85 kilos. I mean, he's one of the biggest 85 kilo guys you're ever likely to lay eyes on. But for Taran to take on Adam Laura and to walk away with the victory, victory, I think changes people's perceptions as where maybe Taryn does fit in the overall rankings, both in this country and internationally. All of a sudden, Taryn's star is burning much brighter.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, phenomenal victory. Probably the best of his arm wrestling career. I mean, I think Adam Laura was universally kind of ranked around the 11 mark in Australia. So for Taryn to take him on, and not only take him on, but to defeat him decisively, yeah, fantastic victory there for him. And he obviously competed at AWE number 1, having beaten Josh Barker, who's also another phenomenal
world-class
70 kilo. These guys, they don't care about what the scale says. It's like, I'm taking on the heavyweights, I don't care.
Yeah. It's a very brave move for Taryn to take on an athlete weighing the best part of 35, 40 kilos more, but also very brave of Adam Laura to take on that matchup, because I mean, perceivably he was the one that had everything to lose, and by providing Taryn that opportunity to have that super match, which I think was something brewing after the AWE one during the after pools, both Adam and Taryn could be seen in a hook match and testing each other's pressure, and ultimately leading to this super match, and absolutely fantastic performance by Taryn, and great to see that Taryn's no longer standing in the shadows of say other athletes in his weight category, and is now very much standing on his own as a real contender, just on the outside of the top 10 of all the arm wrestlers in the country, regardless of the open weight. So absolutely tremendous.
He's written a comment here.
The
young man from South Australia, from Adelaide. He's thank you, Arm Wrestling, Taryn Braun. He says, I can't believe I won. I wasn't expecting it. I came in as the underdog. It was a big step up for me. It was indeed, Taryn, and you performed magnificently, coming away with the victory, putting yourself on the map of maybe one of the top guys in the country. So,
indeed,
of course, sitting in that spot in the under 80 kilos for several years now, but to go into the open weight and to say, well, hey, I'm not only just an under 80 kilos puller, I can do it all at every weight.
I need to be taken seriously at any level, yeah.
That's right. Yeah, he's mostly arms, no body. That's how he gets under the 80 kilos. There is 2 humongous arms, and then that's all there. There's no legs.
He's thinking about competing as a paraplegic in AWE 3 just so he can stay under that 85 kilos.
That's right.
But Taryn's star continues to burn brightly, and one would say that's a rewind back to mid to late last year. Taryn was one of the top regional arm wrestlers, and was probably achieved as much as he could achieve at a regional level, and just with the advent of AWE, I think it's sharpened his focus, and you can see it just even physically. There's it's not quite a massive transformation, but you can see that all the tools that one needs to be an excellent world-class arm wrestler, Taryn has continued to work very, very hard on, and now has all of those attributes, and as he's just shown, can use them against people that are far heavier and much more fancied opponents.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure. We've just had Josh Barker has jumped in there. There he is. I'm going to bring him in. He was the opponent for Taryn from AWE 1. I'm going to jump in here. Hello to you, Mr. Barker. How are you today?
How are we, guys?
Good. You've got no shirt on.
Should I have a shirt on?
You don't need a shirt on. You do have to show us that forearm, though. Have you got a pump going? Do you feel comfortable with showing the world that forearm? Let's get it out. Let's get it out. Look at that.
Look at that.
Ladies and gentlemen, just check that out. So Josh Barker is one of our superstars, as we alluded to previously. He was Taryn's competitor at AWE 1 and returns on this occasion. Just quickly, your thoughts on Taryn's matchup with Adam Laura?
Oh, unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. I had Adam to win it, to be honest. Taryn just, he's willing to train, man. He's psychotic.
And you were there to witness the match firsthand, am I right?
Yeah. It was awesome, man, live. Did you guys watch it?
Yeah, we did see it. Well, we didn't see the live stream, but we saw it afterwards. I think you'd put it up on the YouTube channel there. But yeah, phenomenal win. And I did see your match as well. You had a match against one of our other guys from the SA Titans Club in the Hitman, Tyler Harrison.
Yeah.
Walking away with a very comfortable win for yourself there. I think you were sort of almost playing around in the last round, but yes, it is. You are yourself. We were saying a second ago, that Taron is not sitting in just hanging out in the under 80 kilos division. He's gone, I can compete in the open weight division, and the same with yourself. It's you're the dominant man in the under 70 kilos for Australia, and then it's like, well, I don't care about the under 70s only. I can compete with anybody on the table, and you've proved that multiple times. So yes, big things coming from the guys who are in the lighter weights.
And do you think that matchup kind of opens the door on more matchups that are similar? Could you see yourself, competing against other athletes that are much heavier on, say, a card like AWE, for instance, for the novelty and the experience, or is your focus still very firmly in your weight class? Do you feel?
I'll verse anyone you throw at me, but I'd really like to see where I'm at my the elite level at my weight class. Like, I want to know where I'm at 70 kilos against the best in the world, because weight matters. Like, it truly does. Once you get up to the tiptoe ends, 5 kilos, 10 kilos, everything matters.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole lot of unofficial rankings out there, and then you've got some more that proclaim to be more official. But in your mind, what are the who are the top 5 or 6 guys that you have in your mind as being those that you would like to see across the table from you in the future?
There's this guy named Gaspars from Latvia. Kristaps, Latvia. Sam Harris,
Latvia.
America.
There seems to be a trend going on here.
Lots of Latvians.
Yeah. All the Latvians, man, they all got the best lightweights. And I'm biting off more than I can chew. I'm the underdog, but you don't want to go into a match thinking you're going to dominate.
Yeah.
And you want to go into
some people might know this, but you called Giannis out and reached out, and he was all up for coming out for AWE too. And then I think he did see a photograph of your forearm, and then decided just back out some excuse about some documentary with Coach Ray and
it was a very well crafted excuse.
Yeah, very. I think it's a documentary about how Giannis might be afraid of your forearm. So, do you see that as a matchup maybe coming up into the future?
100%, man. 100%. I'd love that. Win or lose, it's a win-win situation. Like versus Giannis, I don't mind what happens. It's just to grip up with him, like he's.
One of the world champions multiple times, Giannis Amolis, figurehead in the world of arm wrestling. It would have been tremendous to have him here. Unfortunately, the schedules conflicted, and they got their dates wrong, and we missed out not only at Giannis but Coach Ray as well.
Oh well, there we go. There you go. Well, mate, now, I hope you don't mind me touching on this, but you've been very much at the centre of controversy this week with AAF coming out and making an announcement with reference to yourself and Lachlan Carpenter, 2 of our AWE superstars. And how's the week just been for you, just emotionally as that news has come out, and how are you feeling about things a few days after that post has been made, and have you had any communication from the AAF, and if so, what's that been like, and what are your thoughts over that whole situation now that the dust is starting to settle?
I've been getting a fair bit of hate from some people in messages and stuff, but it hasn't really been good.
From arm wrestlers or fans? Yeah, or both.
From arm wrestlers and stuff, and a lot of people were shocked. Apparently, they didn't know what was going on and stuff. Prior to the post.
And for those people that might not be familiar, what has been going on, mate?
Well, I tested positive for a substance at Nationals. I wasn't on at Nationals. I have been on in the past, and it still came up in my system.
Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, I thought, I copped the ban. I did the wrong thing. I owned up to it, but for some reason, the AAF want to keep bringing it up and like putting me in the spotlight.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you were to compete at another promotion in Singapore as well, but that opportunity seemingly slipped through your fingers as news of the ban had leaked out. It seems.
Yeah, they think because I am banned from AAF that I can't compete anywhere. They didn't want me competing with you guys. They didn't want me competing with Singapore, and they got in contact with the Singapore committee and told them that it was in their best interest that I not compete at their event. And then if it wasn't thanks to you guys, man, I probably would have lost my mind. You guys have kept me down to earth, chill, and you got your wisdom and maturity, and it helps me out heaps.
That's mostly Matt in between fart jokes, by the way.
I thought of 3 of them while you were talking. Yeah, well, hey, we can't let an athlete like yourself just disappear. I mean, the fact that if you test positive in that organization and they say we don't want you to compete in our events anymore, that okay, that's fair enough. That's the way.
They also sorry to interrupt. They also messaged Oz, and they said to that they would allow me to train at Wednesday night trainings. Like he's given me permission to train.
Oh, okay.
Like
so the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation reached out to your club and said, hey,
during the ban, they have come to an agreement and they decided to allow me to train.
Well,
and this is what's kind of strange about this whole thing is that the authority side of this in the jurisdiction. So you've got the AAF and they have their events and that sort of thing. And if you get banned from their events and competing, which said a second ago, that you're happy to accept that ban and okay, I won't compete on your events anymore. But to be prevented from even going to train at your own club or to miss out on opportunity at another organization in another country, missing out on all these different opportunities is like, but that's nothing to do with the AAF. That's completely separate. So this is disappointing to hear that. And then, as soon as we had an opportunity, it's like, we got to get you on the card because, the last thing we want is for you to go, well, I'm never going to be able to arm wrestle again. It's like, well, no, you're one of the best guys going around, especially in the under 70s division. It's like, we would love to have you on the card. So yeah, that's what we're going to see actually at the AWE 2, which is on July 2nd, and you're taking on a guy from New Zealand in Thomas Fitzy.
Yeah. What do you know about Thomas Fitzy?
He told me that he's ranked number 2 in the whole of New Zealand because he actually beat Charles Fury.
Wow. So
he's behind Matai Marangin, yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah. So him and Mato Warangi Hedamorris, who will be coming over as well to take on to defend his Intercontinental title against Todd Hutchings in the main event of the evening at 170 kilos, all 170 kilos of him. So he's, I think they train together or they train at the same club, and in Thomas Fitzy, and that too, Josh Barker will be facing. So it'll be exciting. Have you found any footage of Thomas pulling or anything? I'm struggling to find it.
I remember him actually from over the top. Oh. He came 5th or something at the 80 kilo class. There was like 60 competitors. And I remember him pulling against like the likes of like some pretty good guys, Gary and stuff like that. And he's no walk in the park. And then the last year, 14 months, he's like really upped his game. Like he beat Charles Fury, who came like 5th in the overalls at or 4th in the overalls at over the top.
Yeah, amazing. No, well, that's the thing. So it's a big step up for you in competition. And
he's like Hamza, man, 8'11".
He's what?
He's like Hamza, 8'11". His height.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
So tall.
And have you got your head around a strategy as yet? Are you training any differently than you would have, say, for that matchup with Taron with his short levers and his stocky build? Is there anything that you're doing differently to prepare for Fitzy? Yeah,
I'm doing more peak power now. A lot more hands, Tara and I kind of like quit everything and just went pronation. That was my only option. Yeah, it's going to be good.
How did you feel after the match with Taryn? And I think I've spoken to you about this before.
Oh, I'm pretty disappointed in myself. Taryn's a beast. Like, you know, he won fair and square, but I honestly think I could have won in the day with certain, you know, not rushing, didn't know what I was going to do. And props to him. He made me feel uncomfortable in the setup. I didn't know if I was going to top roll, hook, press. Like yeah.
Yeah, that was basically the feeling that I had watching you on when you were gripping up. It was like, it looks like Josh is not sure of which way he wants to go here. And when the go would happen, and one of your skill sets and one of your biggest strengths is your speed off that go. And if you're not 100% into this is exactly what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to press or I'm going to top roll, it was sort of like you were 50-50 in, think I'm doing this. And it was like, you know, these fouls would happen or you'd half start in something and turn into something else. And yeah, it was like, it was, yeah, as you said, it could have ended differently, I think. Yeah, but
yeah. The strength was a lot closer than I thought. Everyone thought it'd be like a speed versus strength. But a lot of the matches, you know, there was no speed involved. We started dead center and, you know, it was power on power.
Yeah, that's right.
So I was really happy with that, man. I can't read these comments.
You can't read the comments. Oh, you see in the comments. Yeah, we've got a message that's just popped in from Taryn, and let me read it out for you. So Taryn has said, Josh's pronation felt mega that day. I was sleeping on him first round. He really woke me up after that, and I made the adjustments. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, the speed that you've got with that press is that something you've specifically trained, or were you just always just that explosive?
Yeah, kind of just came. When I first started, I was like hook and like catch and bring back, and then I did it in comp and it just stuck with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you naturally gravitated towards the press, or was it something that did you start as a top roller or start in?
Yeah, I started as a hook. I was like gym junkie, you know, and I was more bicep, and I thought I'd just like bicep curl my opponents at the start, just hold and like I don't know what I was doing, and then just kind of like gradually went to the press. It felt comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With the elbow integrity that is required for fast, explosive pressing is just insane. I think you did mention you did get an injury at one point that put you out for a few months, was it?
Yeah. When people catch, I actually just had a match with Bowen Cantado yesterday. Yeah, on right hand, and I pressed and he caught it, and like it sends shock waves when it doesn't go through. It hurts a bit.
Is that match up anywhere, or is it? It was just
it was live streamed. I actually lost to Bowen 2-0.
Wow.
Yeah, he's leveled up, and then I versed Gary for the 80 kilo title in New South Wales in our club, and I beat him after I lost to Bowen.
Oh, right. On right arm.
2 matches. Yeah, on right arm.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Bowen Cantado, fantastic arm wrestler from the club there as well. So he's been doing big things lately as well. We'd love to get him on the card at some point.
Oh, yeah. His left hand, man, is unbelievable.
Absolutely.
I was just suggesting to Dankius if you wanted to jump on the stream, he's more than welcome. The link's just there in the chat, mate. So if you want to jump on board, you are very, very welcome to join us and perhaps talk through that matchup with Josh and your more recent performance with Adam Laura as well. Mate, so you had a few opponents come and go as we were getting this card together, and it must be, I guess, in some part disappointing when you start preparing yourself for a certain opponent to then have to kind of shift midstream. And in terms of adjustments from your end, has there had to be any changes in how you prepare?
It kind of just motivation. When you like announce you get like a world champ and then it's off, and then someone else and then it's off. You know, my motivation for training went up, then down, then up, then down.
Yeah.
That's probably the main thing that's like let me down. But other than that, my training pretty much stays the same. Train hard.
Yeah, that's right. It was a very big blow to lose Giannis and Coach Ray from the card. It would have been a tremendous honor to have them here and to see how you would have gone.
It would have been my best form by far, man.
Yeah, Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
one of those things that seems to happen, and it happens across most combat sports. Is that they'll announce the big fight, and unfortunately, people get injured, or things happen, and the card does change. We had that on the first card. I think our main event changed about 86 times, and but this after Coach Ray and Giannis, I think they were the last two that have had any issues, and so we haven't had anybody else pull out, and we've got everyone's flight booked, everyone's accommodation is getting sorted. We've got things in the works to make sure that everybody will be here, and it is the card that we have announced will be the card that you get to see.
Yep. Sorry, I'm just laughing. Taryn isn't able to join us. Says he's in a camper van right now, and his light's just broken. So he's in darkness. He's descended into darkness, and he was just explaining there that the more homeless you become, the better you get at arm wrestling. So maybe there is a tip there for you if you don't walk away with the victory, Josh. Maybe just leave the comfort of home behind and take to the streets, and you'll no doubt become a more competitive arm wrestler. So
it's that hungry look in your eye.
How long have you guys been live for?
Sorry, mate.
26 minutes and 15 seconds.
Yeah,
you got on pretty quick, so that's great. And I just wanted to say that Fox 8 Ball has put a comment in here as well, that he says that pressing feels dangerous at times for me. I don't press at all. You've got a little bit of a press going.
A little bit of a press. I could, it's inspired by Josh Barker, of course. But yeah, I'll sometimes lend a bit of weight inside there and see how I go. But it's one of those things. I think most people kind of fall into, one of the three main disciplines, and quite naturally. And it seems that presses are the rarest. They're the redheads of the arm wrestling world. They're very they're a rare breed. So, but Josh, tell us a little bit about your story, because you really only just come back to you've come to arm wrestling, but through a combat sports path. And you were explaining, as our first event was in the cage, as is our second event in an ISCA certified MMA cage, and but you're no stranger to the cage.
No, I've done a little bit of amateur MMA. Just didn't my eyesight didn't want to agree with me. Getting punched in the face and having blurry vision doesn't help. So I decided, I went to an arm wrestling event down in Wollongong. Shannon Michaels and stuff was hosting it, and I fell in love, because I was like, gym junkie, massive biceps, and I was losing to people that are like skinny, little arms and stuff, and I'm like, there's no way. And then I just had to beat them, and then I can't get at. That's all I think about.
And so now that you've matured as an arm wrestler, I'll ask you two questions. One, do you just train for arm wrestling now, or are you cross discipline training? Are you doing like a combination of, say, weights, as say Hollywood Matt Connelly might, or are you very specific? For instance, get this classic aesthetic, or there we go. Oh, hang on. I think you just.
I've got both of them up.
So we do have a wonderful photo of Josh Barker out angling Hollywood Matt Connelly.
You even said, no, I'll stand on that side.
Yeah, he picks the lighting. He knows exactly.
I knew what was going on.
So what does your training look like these days, mate? Is it just arm wrestling focus, or do you still dabble in other disciplines?
I've been doing whatever Lachlan Adair says. He's got me doing actually more gym stuff at the moment.
Yep.
And then as we get closer to AWE, I'll do more arm wrestling specifics and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, and so
trying to gain weight.
A lot of people might not know, but Lachlan Adair has a full course available for anybody who is interested in getting strong for arm wrestling, and that's he's got a whole program that's available. So you can access that just simply by reaching out to Lachlan Adair. If you send him a message through his socials, you can sign up. But and from your end, how did Lachlan's input shift your focus?
Keeps me on track. When you just have something to follow, and when you're paying for it, you know what I mean? It makes you want to do it. Yeah. And then when you're with yourself, you get lazy, or I'll do it tomorrow, stuff like that. That's the main thing. Something to follow, something to go off.
Yeah.
Accountability side of it.
Yeah, and then all the questions, like he's Aussie's best, like it's lost on a day, And if I have questions and stuff, he's in my corner at comps, like, yeah, win, man.
Will he be your corner man for this event?
Yeah, I hope so. Otherwise, I'll have to get a new coach.
Yeah, that's a good point. If you're paying for the program from the guy, he's right there, and then you bring in somebody else. I'm right here. I'll just quickly say hello to a couple of people that have popped in here as well. We've got Alex McKinnon giving a nice little bicep flex there, and we've also got the Canberra Dragster has also given a bicep flex. Lots of bicep flexing going on, which is fantastic.
Yeah,
Alex is a weapon.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's great to see some of the local Australian guys jumping in the chat here, having a look at what's going on, and we'll hope that they watch the AWE. They'll see Josh Barker taking on Thomas Fitzy there as well. Big match. There's a lot of big matches on this card.
Yeah,
I'd like to know your opinion, Mr. Barker, on. So actually, well, I'll ask the top three, the main event. So we've got the main event. We've got Todzilla, Todd Hutchings. He's taking on Matawarengi, Hannah Morris.
Yeah.
And for the Intercontinental belt, the AWE Intercontinental belt, your thoughts for that match, first to four?
I think Todd gets it 4-0.
Yeah, I think that's
same as like Lockie Adair, the way he sort of does it. He doesn't need his wrist, and it'll just be side pressure. And Mato will have, pronation in hand, but I don't think Todd will care.
Ryan Bowen was I guess, explaining that there may be a pathway. There may be a pathway for the big New Zealander. So
I think it's two hands.
Yes,
two hands.
It seems that that's the popular consensus that Todd Hutchins comes over and takes the belt on his shoulder back across the pond. But it's you can never write somebody off when they're 170 kilos. So we're going to see he's another competitor that's upsized for AWE too, after weighing in at 165 kilograms to be the heaviest athlete in the event. He's edged up to 170 kilos, and who knows what he'll weigh in on the 1st of July. So
can we get 200?
Can we get there? That's our challenge. That's
4 weeks to get 200 kilos. Yeah. He can do it.
Yeah.
Take his arm wrestling. Taryn Broad has said, what happens if Lachlan is coaching both athletes in the same super match? Which corner would he go to? He'll go to Josh's corner, of course.
We know that. Yeah. So,
I'm his golden student, man. His highest achiever.
We've got the co-main event, which is Artem Taranenko, the top roll king. He is taking on Australia's number 2 in Ryan Blue Bowen. How do you see that one going?
I saw a video not too long ago when Sam went away, and Sam was pretty on par with Artem. I know it's training pools and you take what you will from it, but yeah, Sam was pretty on par with Artem. So I think Ryan's got it pretty comfortably, to be honest.
What's your prediction? First to 4?
Yeah, I think Ryan clean sweeps.
Wow, 4-0.
Wow.
I do, yeah. But Artem is looking juicy,
I think we're putting in a complaint to the matchmakers after hearing your feedback here tonight. That's
don't even ask in the next match because it's the exact same, man.
Oh,
really?
I've got.
Yeah.
Well, this one might not be the one you're thinking. I'm thinking Gunter's Bykovs and Marcus Atirai. Is that the one you were thinking?
Yeah. I don't know where that's going.
There we go. See, right, you got to pick somebody.
So, and either way, you're upsetting some giant man.
Yeah,
so
we're going to tell him. We've got
my goodness!
Oh, sorry, I'm interrupting completely. When you go to speak, I'm going to do it again. No.
I don't know, man. Wow, I'm trying to picture the match out in my head, but I don't even know.
What was really interesting after AWE 1 was that there was a lot of online buzz about Marcus Atirai. It was immediately apparent that we'd found somewhat of a star there. And Gunter's Bykovs, his story kind of got a little bit lost in amongst all that was happening at AWE 1, and was probably one of the big stories of the event, having essentially retired from competition for the best part of 4 or 5 years, returning at the age of nearly 50 and walking away with the AWE heavyweight belt against a very highly fancy competitor in Mario Tambakis, and that's his first competitive matchup against an elite competitor in years, and the fact that he was able to take down Mario in such a convincing fashion, kind of got a little bit lost in Marcus Saturi ripping through sets of arms towards the end of the day. But the reality is that Gunther's somebody not to be slept on, and he's got a depth of experience, and the Latvian school of arm wrestling is one with that just doesn't take in the trick in the strength. It takes into account all of the tricks, the inherent advice that's been accumulated in the dungeons of Latvian arm wrestling schools across the country for decades, and certainly Gunther's is a wonderful exponent of that said school. So I'd like to think that Gunther's is going to retain the title. I think, from what I understand, he's been training very hard with Laz Berserker Bolter, who's essentially moved in to assist with the preparation for AWE2. So they're very much taking it very, very seriously from the title belt holder side. And then you've got Marcus Saturi, who's upsized now to 170 kilos and is 170 kilos of Tahitian wrecking ball.
That's 3 times my weight, man.
Yeah.
I'm 70.
100 kilos more. That's me more than Josh.
Yeah. So I mean, it does ask some questions, and there's a big discrepancy in weight there, 45 kilos between the two men. Will weight matter more than experience in technique?
So you think it's a clean sweep or a war, like between Marcus and Gunther's?
I kind of feel that maybe Gunther's has to find a pathway.
Yeah.
I think Marcus will have a very definite idea as to how he's going to go about it, and he'll be looking to use all of that base load power that he's got.
He's got a king's move as well.
But you got to think that Gunther's would be in anticipation of that as well, having seen the footage back of AWE 1, and would have been no doubt many of the hours that he's been spending in the gym have been dedicated to strengthening in those spots that he sees that he can hold out against a much larger competitor.
Yeah, absolutely. The first to four makes it another element as well, because if somebody is super explosive, they might get the first 2 rounds, they might get the third with a little bit of a hard-fought battle, but then to actually win the match, you need those 4 wins. It doesn't matter if you're up 3-0, you've got to get that 4th one to actually take the win. And so, you might be gassing out at that point. This is why we sort of set it at that. It's like it's enough so that it's not an endurance match, but it's just in that right spot where you can get somebody who now they can't just rely on their one skill set. You have to have other elements you can rely on, because if your hand starts gassing and it's the 3rd round, it's like, oh no, what else do you have? Do you have anything else, or is that it for you? It's so it does add another layer of element to especially that matchup.
And Fox 8 Bull comments here: if Ryan beats Artem and David Bradford beats Artem in Canada at Arm Gods, surely we need a Ryan versus David matchup. And you'd be very interested to know that plans are afoot and things are moving forward. I don't know if specifically for that matchup, but certainly stay tuned, because there's some big news coming up as AWE takes to the skies, and you'll see the AWE flag being flown around the world, and you might see some of these dream matchups start to become a reality.
We've got a smart comment here from Nicholas Samantras, who says that he loves Dave Cockbridge, which is obviously Nick, I'm guessing that it's Nick, and I hope that it is the one that came along to the Titans Open, and I think it was your first ever tournament, and came all the way from Victoria to compete.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Lovely smile,
Yeah.
friendly guy. I think
Didn't call me a Cockbridge then.
Not then. Now
he's had time to think about me.
Yes.
He's been waiting for this opportunity. So
yeah, so he's I believe that him and Trent Taylor, who's also here in the chat, are quite. I think they're training together, or they're friends, or
they're ganging up on us. That's what they're doing in the chat.
They're coming up with better insults than that.
They're working on more now.
Have you ever had that one before?
I haven't had Cockbridge, so congratulations. that is a new one. And having now seen it, I can't believe I haven't heard more of it during my life. So
my favourite one for mine.
For me, you've got a favourite.
For mine, for me. Yeah. So Matt Connelly is one. And then
really?
Yes, and then it's the people that don't know. I'm educating the fans, and there's more than just bisons. I'm a human being. Completely off topic. Was Matt Condomely.
Condomely and Cockbridge show.
Yeah,
I like it.
That's the new one.
It's got legs. On your Trent. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, trying again, Fox. You'd never get me with these. This is the challenge I've put out on a long time ago. That I said, if anyone can trick me into saying one of these names, I'll send them a free T-shirt. And so every stream I get these, attempts. That's a feeble attempt.
Attempts to trip you over.
That's right.
Yeah.
Dave's the man. He is indeed.
Thank you,
Trent. Yes.
On your Trent.
Yes.
Thanks, mate.
We'll look forward to seeing. Hopefully, both Nick and Trent will make it down for AWE 2.
We hope so. We've got ringside seats waiting for you, mate. So we'll look forward to seeing you. And for anybody that is wondering whether or not they're going to head over to the Adelaide Oval and enjoy AWE cage side, well, you certainly have VIP tickets. So the arrangements, Hollywood, are that during the course of the arm wrestling event, anybody who buys a ticket to AWE to be there in person will be able to sit cage side and enjoy the best seats of the house. There's a VIP section that will be open just to ticket holders, so very, very exclusive. And so when tickets are available, we'll let you know. The website's almost up, and we'll let you know as soon as we're ready to press the button on that. So regardless of where you may be, anywhere in the world, you can jump on a plane, head over to Adelaide and be part of the in-person experience. Now, one of the great benefits of buying a ticket, which will be under $40 Australian, is that you will be able to then access the event that happens after AWE, which is a DFC 17, which is an MMA event, as a general admission ticket holder. But you might not be as interested in that as you will be interested in the after pool. So if you buy a ticket to AWE 2, then you will be invited to the back of the McGarry room straight after the tournament to the tables to be able to share the tables with the AWE superstars and enjoy a drink and maybe even be part of the AWE post-event podcast.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. We've had Arm Gods, Paul Maiden.
Paul Maiden?
I'm guessing it's Paul is written this. Is either Paul or Marcus, but it's probably Paul.
Probably Paul.
Given the humour of what he's written here, Bollywood Matt, it's definitely Paul. I can't believe you Island of Cons use so many PEDs. Oh, come on.
Yeah, they came over with us on the first fleet. They just stocked it all up with Trent. That was the first boat. And then...
didn't know it was on the banned list.
What was the substance that that showed in the test?
Enova.
And so what would that normally do to somebody? Just gives them giant forearms? Is that right?
No, it's one of the most mild forms. It's an oral steroid. It's one of the most mildest forms. No injectables.
Have you just been waiting for the chance to say oral form? No.
Yeah.
So
said it twice as well.
So oral.
And what's your communication been like from the people that are administering this ban upon you? Have you had a phone call or any direct communication, or has it just been the Facebook post? Is that how you've been learning about things?
I tried talking to them, but they're kind of set on their way or the highway sort of thing.
Right. Yeah.
Doesn't really get anywhere. So yeah,
Yeah.
I thought I'd just leave it alone, get on with life.
Yeah.
And yeah, they want to keep bringing shit back up.
Yeah. Look, mate, I think all credit to you. Like you haven't shirked away from it. You've been really open and in explaining to the community and certainly with us about how how it all happened and what's been going on in the background. And I think. That's all credit to you because it is one of those things, and we're kind of being in and around the sport and in and around strength and combat sports for a long time, and there's definitely a stigma that can be attached. You've got a lot of fake natties out there proclaiming natural status that might not be. You've got a lot of people that are very open about their use. There's other people that have had use of PEDs and have stopped and tested later on and things like that, and then you've got people that are testing positive for quite mild substances, but then being banned for years, even though that is not necessarily quantifiable that there was any advantage associated with whatever the substance that tested positive was. So it's a real grey area, and I think it comes down to this: if you're an organisation that's heavily dependent on government money in order to subsist, or you are running a sport that you hope will one day be in the Olympics, well then maybe this is a huge concern to you. But the reality is that AWE are putting on arm wrestling entertainment. We want great competitors. We want great people. People that we like, and ultimately personalities that we feel have got a lot to contribute to not just the AWE but the arm wrestling community in general. And I think you're one of those people, mate. I think you're a superstar, and I think you'll continue to give more of yourself and more to the community as the years go by.
Yeah, man. I'm just going to touch on it. Yeah, I was trying to do the right thing. I got off because I got told it would be tested, and I got off 8 to 6 weeks prior to the national comp.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, to try and make it fair, and I thought just because it was an oral and it had a short half-life that I would, be clear and be off.
Yeah.
And the way it works is I was actually, you go down because I went cold turkey. You actually become weaker than what you would have if you just stayed off, because your body has to adjust, bring its natural testosterone back up and stuff.
Yeah.
And touching into the thing you said before, I don't think it's just me and Lachlan Carpenter that showed up to that comp that we're on. I don't think we were the only ones that had something in our system.
Yeah, I did.
And then over the top, man, I got told that they're fully against it and they don't want anything to do with the steroids. But then they brought Larry Wills over for over the top.
Well, he's completely
He's
natural.
100% natural.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Soft hands, very soft hands.
Very soft hands. All of his muscles feel exactly the same. So if you do touch them, they're very pillowy.
Oh, I only went with the hand.
Gentle. But isn't it interesting? The same federation that's going out of its way in this case to ensure that you're not competing anywhere else, or that and permitting you to train at your club are the same people that invited Larry Wills, who's openly admitted to his use of PEDs. There's absolute. I didn't want to just.
You've killed Father Christmas for me.
And
first Father Christmas, and now Larry Wills. Where does it end?
Actually, did you guys see Grant? Sorry to interrupt. Did you see Grant's video?
For the pleasure, So. But nonetheless, it's really interesting that the focus seems to be on you. But in that case, I don't think Larry Wills was tested prior to his.
Completely clear.
No, it
would have burnt through the USADA cup.
We've got a question.
Did you guys? Did you guys see Grant's video? Grant Diet.
I'm sorry,
about which one?
He made a video, and Phil was saying before the comp that there was possible testing. Testing isn't always guaranteed and stuff. And he was saying and I actually was it blew my mind. He was saying how can you tell the competitors if there may or may not be testing? You should tell them that there is or isn't. So if they are on stuff, they can or cannot show up.
Yeah,
definitely.
If that makes sense.
The testing, maybe.
And
Testing, maybe, yeah.
There was only the 2 athletes tested. So, do you know if your competitor for the title? Who was your competitor?
Who came second?
Who came second at the title?
Nikki came second on left, and Mickey Lonsarevic came second on right.
Okay, so they weren't tested. It would appear. So you were tested.
No.
They weren't. So it is difficult when I guess we'll never know whether we've got a true champion there or not. I don't know. It's very difficult. Arm gods, Dave, will you not keep up the ban? Will you go against the Aussie Federation? We will stand. We will stand with our athletes. We will stand with Josh Barker. We will stand with Lachlan Carpenter, and we will continue to give pathways to fantastic young athletes that are making their way in the world, and continue to provide them with the platform so that they can do what they love the most. So the answer to that is yes. We will go against this ban. We are outside of the jurisdiction of the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation. And we do have a separate rule set, and we are in no way affiliated with the Australian Arm Wrestling Federation. And so whatever rules that they might make up or wish to insist upon people just simply don't apply to AWE. So we will continue to stand by. I'd like to think AWE is the future as well. It's we like to think that we're doing our best to present the sport in the very best possible light and giving a great pathway to athletes. Our genuine hope is that we can make arm wrestling a professional pursuit for all of our athletes. So they don't have to do the job they don't love as much as arm wrestling, and they can full-time go of making a career out of what they love. And so that's 100% our objectives here at the AWE. And in part, that's why we're called Arm Wrestling Entertainment, because we acknowledge that arm wrestling is certainly one side of that business, but the entertainment side, or where the athletes have an opportunity to build a profile and then leverage that profile for commercial gain, so that they don't have to work that 9 to 5 that they don't love, and that they can dedicate themselves to the sport and to the community full time.
This is great. As Paul has written again, I like your honesty. That's you, Dave, not me.
That's me.
I'm full of dishonesty.
You're very deceitful.
You're the
talking about me.
Of the Oceanic region of We Don't Give a FCUK. Yes, there we go. Fantastic. Love the guys at Arm Gods. They're doing tremendous things, and it is so good to see these organizations that are springing up around the world, that are putting on amazing events and Arm Gods specifically. We did an episode a couple of weeks ago where we sort of broke down each organization and what their point of difference is. And Arm Gods, if you don't know anything about Arm Gods, go check out their website. They have a phenomenal catalog of content. They're coming up with stuff all the time. They've got amazing events in the works, and they have really gone all in on that atmospheric, live, in the moment sort of style. And we think that they're awesome. So hopefully we'll be talking to them more in the future.
Yeah, certainly seems to. And I mean, Josh, have you seen anybody pop up at Arm Gods that you thought, you know what, I wouldn't mind taking them on? Or do you like the idea of cracking a beer can over somebody's head?
Yeah, I was going to say they got some entertaining arm wrestling.
AWA is in no way affiliated with those treacherous dogs.
Sternly worded letter there for Fox 8 Ball.
The treacherous dogs. Well,
fueled by arm wrestling. I think that's Trent Taylor.
Well, I think essentially, the Arm Wrestling Federation has taken the view that it would like to go down that road of making. Essentially down the same pathway as many sports like karate has recently gone down, where they're seeking to fit within the guidelines as laid down by the governing bodies of other sports around the world. So you tend
tennis.
Yes, for instance. And you know what? I just don't feel like it applies. I just don't. I feel I don't want to speak on your behalf, but
Oh,
I will.
Go ahead.
But from our perspective, we just don't feel that that's something that needs to apply. I think that there's arm wrestling is emerging. I think if we're in a world where slap is one of the most watched sports on the internet right now, then the opportunity for arm wrestling is certainly there. Is it becoming an Olympic sport? Is that where the greatest opportunity lies for the sport? My contention is no. I think there's more to be done in the world of arm wrestling than taking it down the pathway of never becoming an Olympic sport and putting all your eggs in that basket. Roman Rockwell, gentlemen, Iron Man saying hi. Good to see you there, Roman. So Roman's a fixture at arm wrestling in South Australia and creates some beautiful images online as well.
Yeah, great guy. And he hasn't been to the club for a while. Get back to the club, Roman. We've got super matches galore for you.
Yeah. We're waiting for you, Roman. So just before we go, Josh, just with respect to your matchup, again, you I guess over the next several weeks, what does the 3 weeks leading up to a big match like this look like for you?
Very 1 rep max hardcore training for the 2-ish weeks, and then I start to slowly taper off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just Lachlan Adair in the background, just massaging your forearms.
yeah. Just growing the forearm by an inch. That's my plan.
Excellent, mate.
The bigger, the better.
Well, thank you so much for jumping online. Thank you so much for your insights, and also the punters out there would have appreciated your very frank responses to your predictions. And mate, we look forward to seeing you here in Adelaide on the 2nd of July. Of course, 1st July if you're watching in America. So don't get too confused by the time zones and the delays.
So confused.
1st of July in America, 2nd of July in Australia. It's Sunday, 2nd of July. Of course, if you are looking to attend the event in person and, of course, be a part of the after pool and to hang out with our AWE superstars afterwards, get yourself a signed T-shirt. You'll have that opportunity, and we will make that announcement very soon, as soon as we're able to. As soon as the button's been pressed, you guys will be the absolute first to know. And another exciting announcement that we hope will occur at the same time, whereas if you've got your favourite AWE athlete that's competing, then you will also be able to buy, for instance, a Josh Barker athlete AWE competitor's shirt, maybe even get it signed by the great man whilst there. But you will be able to buy that, and whenever you do buy one of those shirts, the proceeds of the sale will be going to our
underdeveloped
athletes,
forearms,
which is a fund for underdeveloped forearms. We in poorer countries, arm wrestlers don't get all of the proceeds.
Got a bit of comedian sitting next to you.
Just $1 from the sale of
just
each
$1
one of
a
these
day.
shirts will go to improving the protein content of each and every meal of a young arm wrestler in the third world. Or on the Gold Coast. So or Sydney, wherever you may be. So or it might just go towards Marcus Turais' breakfast as he launches to 200 kilos between now and AWE too. So exciting things going on there. So you can get your favourite athlete shirt. So there will be a Barker shirt in the shop very, very soon. And Josh, anybody who buys that shirt, you'll be receiving all the profits from that sale. So you can put that in the kitty towards your next event, wherever you might be going, anywhere around the world. And I've got a funny feeling, mate, with a future like yours, there'll be plenty of points there on the what do you call it, the flight points? Plenty of those on the horizon.
You guys are good.
Darts on the wall.
So we're super excited for your matchup, mate, and look forward to seeing you here in Adelaide. So we'll see you then. And to all that have tuned in,
hang on, I haven't done my thing yet. Yeah, we've got a request from Fox 8 Ball.
Oh, we've got a request.
Yes, we'll do that.
Okay. All right.
Give us an Eddie, and I'll put you in my cartoon.
Okay. Here we go.
All right. Aru, aru, aru.
Not bad. Could you do it with the double biceps.
Aroo!
There we go. That's what he actually wanted to see. Fantastic, Fox 8 Ball. To Fuel by Arm Wrestling, Dragster, and all the guys that jumped into the chat, to Dane Kiers, and of course to our very special guest, Josh Barker. Thank you very much for joining us here on the AWE podcast, and we'll look forward to bringing you more next time.
Thanks, heaps, guys.
Cheers, mate.
We'll end it